Hi, the date is June 10th, 2026, and I just finished my last session of therapy after 5 weeks. And it was something I was trying out just to see what it was like the gym and like some of the other things I've done. But I kind of want to give my take on it and maybe some of the things it helped me with and some of the things that weren't as helpful. The first one being is when you're choosing a therapist, try to find someone who is as objective as possible. Don't find someone who just wants to validate your feelings and confirm what you already believe. You need to find someone who has degrees and knows what they're talking about and can actually suggest things that will help you, but not kind of take over. Like, let you lead the session, but not just let it kind of free reign and let you come up with the solution without like their interpretation as well, based on their like actual profession of being a therapist. Because I tried out two different therapists, and one was very validating and very like made it look like we were making progress, but we weren't. And then the second one was a professional with multiple degrees, someone who specialized in the kind of area of my age, and someone who was much more professional than the previous person, and she helped me so much more. So, in specifics, a lot of the things I talked about were about me getting into dating and my dating life and kind of a lot of the anxiety around that and a lot of those areas. The main thing that it helped was just being able to simplify everything, because for me personally, I'm in my head a lot and I'm always intellectualizing everything. So, and it gets confusing because I don't know what these feelings are called, but I do, or what the terms for them are, but I do remember them. So I'm trying to process all of this stuff where I can't actually put names to these feelings. And going to therapy with a professional, she could actually put a lot of names to the things that were going on in my head, which let me kind of categorize them and understand them a bit better so I could stop thinking about them. And especially around the small things. Like, I would turn I would turn small things into really big things, and then I would talk about it in therapy, and I would be reminded that I'm either putting too much pressure on myself, or these things aren't really that big, or these things might seem big, but there's really small, easy ways to deal with them. And how a lot of people would be turned away from therapy is they might be similar to me. They might kind of already understand these things that the therapist is telling you. And as someone who kind of strived for self-improvement for a long time, as you can see on the channel, I was like that. I could kind of see like where's like I already know this stuff. But I think one really good thing about therapy is having someone voice it back to me kind of brought it into the real world. Because a big thing with being very knowledgeable around self-improvement was I could solve my problems, but the same voice in my head that could solve those problems was also the problem. So it really helped to have someone in more of a subjective position actually help me with those problems and actually tell me the solution, because I can confidently say that all of my issues that I explained in those sessions, I had the answers for. And I ended up, and those answers were within me. They were just all in line with the intellectualization, and the voice that obsesses over the problems was also giving me the answers. So when I was explaining the problems, then when I would think of an answer to it, and along that would come with the obsession of the problem. But then I'd have an external person who tells me what their take and what they professionally think I should do about that, and that then I mix that with how I wanted to solve it, and I'm like, okay, this is something I can actually integrate because this is something I believe I have to do, and then this is something a professional has told me to do, and it's in the real world now. It's not just in my head. This solution, I can actually implicate this into my real life. So I think therapy is even good if you do have the answers to your problems, because it just helps kind of put words to them and clarify them, especially. But yeah, that's kind of my perspective of therapy. It's definitely going to be different for everyone, and different therapists have different methods and different ways. So, but that's just my personal take. That's the end of the video.